Okay, we are live.
Hello and welcome to the post podcast where you can only see it on YouTube. Here we'll be doing our Mandalorian review. Dun dun dun.
Okay.
I'm gonna let
Nice. So the Mandalorian, Mando.
Mandalorian. What'd you guys think? Yeah, what'd you guys think?
Overall, I'd give it like
overall.
a 9.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10, somewhere in that range. I thought it was really good. There was only like one episode that, not even that I didn't like it, that I thought was slightly weaker, but I still thought it was good towards the middle. But overall, I thought it was a really fun show to watch. Good Star Wars content.
I really don't know what I want to rank it though. Like I want to be like critical and say 8.75 just to sound like a sug, but like at the same time I also want to say 9.
I think a 9. I think it's a clean 9.
0.2.
Like I have no complaints.
Right? It's just
It did take me a while to realize not every episode was the same length. So I'm watching it. I'm like, why is this one so
that
fast?
was weird.
That was annoying when it was coming out because I think the second episode is only like 30 minutes almost total.
I have them all pulled up on here, and the shortest one is 33 minutes, and it was the second one.
Yeah, that was
the longest one. It looks like it was 49 minutes, and that was the finale.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It also took me a little bit to understand what the time period was, because like in the trailers there's like stormtroopers, so I'm like, and I'm like, well, there's no Imperial, so That was a little weird.
I just watched. I binged the whole thing after they all came out. I know you guys watched them live, but
Yeah,
I didn't have Disney Plus
I
yet.
did.
Joey just watched it. Yeah, I watched it live.
Yeah, I watched it like last week.
Oh, okay. So, I guess do you guys want to just like go over characters maybe, or just by episode? Just see what's going. I guess we could just start with Mando. What did you guys think of him?
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed him.
His face was a little weird. It's not what you would expect.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I didn't know what he looked like either. Like I didn't know what the actor looked like, so I didn't know what to expect.
I knew him from Game of Thrones.
He just sounds like he's a more manly guy.
Yeah.
That's
like
fair.
in appearance.
Yeah, he didn't. Like, isn't he older too?
He's 45, I think.
He looks old. Like I just pulled him up, and he just like looks like an older guy.
I guess
He
his
is
mustache.
45. Yeah, maybe it is the mustache.
I thought it was really good. I like that they kind of played his origin, so to speak, kind of close to the vest for most of the season. I thought that was kind of cool. I liked how they incorporated stuff from the Clone Wars. Also, the flashbacks, actually seeing a battle droid that looks somewhat menacing was actually kind of cool for once. Because I feel like
That's true.
they very quickly became a punchline in the prequels and even in Clone Wars. But this time, during those flashbacks, I was like, that's kind of terrifying. I'm getting some Terminator vibes.
I really didn't know what to expect though with the show. Like from the trailers. Like I knew it was gonna be really cool, but I'm like, is it gonna be like actually like a Mandalorian show? Or is it gonna be like what it became?
Yeah.
Or whatnot?
I like that they kind of went the gunslinger action adventure route. Like I could see this coming out on TV every Saturday morning and watching it with the fam. And I thought it was good. The fam.
Oh boy.
And this is a show that I feel like got a lot of people invested. Like even on Google, it's listed under Space Western, and it really is just a Western gunslinger show. And I mean, everyone in my family ended up watching this, and not all of them are huge Star Wars people, but they did enjoy this.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it doesn't get too like crazy as it gets more Mandalorian like and Baby Yoda like. I hope it keeps its like calm, cool roots.
Where it's still very much separated, but there's hints here and there of the actual Star Wars universe, you mean?
Yeah, because like if we talk about like the ending of season 1, like where it leaves off,
well,
like it could like just abandon the space western kind of.
See, I go kind of two ways about it, because when I first heard they were doing a Mandalorian show, one, I did not expect it to be set during this time. I expected this to be before the prequels, because if you know anything about the Star Wars lore, Mandalorians fought Jedi on multiple occasions during the height of their power, and it's like...
That's what I
This
would
was,
expect.
yeah, this is a weird time period to choose, but I ended up enjoying it and having just the small connections to it. And at the very end, when you see the dark saber, it's like
Oh yeah,
kind of just
that's a
connects it
good one.
more because you see it throughout Clone Wars and Rebels, and now this kind of shows where it's ending up, so it connects it more. But I still think they're gonna try and keep it more separate, more accessible at least, where any level of fan can enjoy it.
In terms of Star Wars as a whole, I think this is like the most down to earth / like realistic version that they have.
Yeah.
Because it is just like a western, like a space western show. There's not like anything too crazy going on, you know.
It's like nice to see what the actual place looks like when you're not like a rebel, or you're not like the Imperial people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nice to see what it's like as an everyday citizen.
Yeah. And even on top of that, as almost an everyday soldier or warrior, because like in episode 4, when they end up fighting the ATST, the giant tank.
Oh yeah.
Like in Star Wars, you're watching it, you see Luke Skywalker kind of just take it down easily with a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, that was terrifying. You saw it could overpower as many people as it wanted to. So it's kind of interesting to see it that way.
Like when they are like, AT-ATs and all this, they can kill thousands with one blast. You're just kind of like, Luke Skywalker just like waves his hand and it's dead.
Yeah. And even at the end when they brought out the cannon when they were stuck in the bar.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you see people take those down left and right during the movies and even in the TV shows, or a Jedi just reflects all the blasts with their lightsaber. So it's like these weapons can actually cause some damage.
Yeah. It's not just like a waste of parts. Like they actually have a purpose, and they usually do what they're supposed to do, unless there's like a Jedi around.
Yeah,
it's just so nice not having like a Jedi for once.
Yeah,
well, besides the Yoda.
Jedis ruin everything. Okay, did you guys have like a favorite scene or episode throughout the series?
For me, I like the ending.
I like blended nice.
Yeah, I like the ending. Like of the finale where he gets the jetpack and the whole lava river thing where you see the droid self-destruct. I enjoyed that, but honestly,
oh my gosh,
my favorite scene is still the opening scene, the opening bar fight where he cuts the guy in half with the door and everything. I just thought that was cool.
My favorite episode, I like the episode where they go on a heist to free the one girl's brother from the prison. I thought that was like one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
The Bill Burr episode.
Yeah, because well, I think what have made it like really good is if Mando would have killed all the people when they betrayed him, like when they did a 1v1.
Yeah.
Like, and then I realized, oh, he just like put him in prison or whatever. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I thought he was killing them the whole time.
Yeah, because I was watching it with my dad, and we're like, did he kill these people, or are they just knocked out? Because the one guy got crushed by like 4 doors in all directions.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even live from that, no matter how strong you are?
I guess it's nice though to like see that he has morals.
Yeah. I thought that was somewhat confusing. Like, I got that he had a code, and the Mandalorians have a code, sort of, but the way he followed it at times was kind of like, I wish this code was written out a little better, other than this is the way, which I mean is a good explanation. That's a great argument for pretty much anything.
That's true.
Well, it's like they have to stay undercover, but he gets to walk around all he wants, so that's also kind of weird.
Yeah,
but then they have like you can't take off your helmet and let anyone see it,
which
so
that was like,
I think he gets a pass.
I guess, but I also, they don't really explain like what Mandalorian clan he's in, or like house or anything, because if you watch Clone Wars or Rebels, you see there's multiple different houses and clans kind of have their own different ways and cultures, and none of those that have been shown before have that rule that you can't take off your helmet. That's the first time it showed up in the show, and I'm like, oh, that's different. I mean, it's cool.
They might try to tie it into like Boba Fett or something. Or Jango, maybe. Maybe more Boba.
Probably more Boba, because Jango takes his off occasionally, but I don't really know how much Boba does. Yeah.
My dad's rewatching all the Star Wars now, funny enough, because we just did the Star Wars episode. But I was watching. He has Attack of the Clones on right now, and Django literally has his mask off like all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because Django becomes the clones.
Yeah.
And Boba's also technically a clone, so I don't know. And like they said, the Mandalorian isn't a race. Jango Fett's a bounty hunter too, so he clearly doesn't always follow the rules that are set for them. And Boba was technically a clone and Jango's son, and he has his own stuff going on most of the time. So those are only two examples.
Like, tie it in, because like Boba basically, becomes an orphan, has to fend for himself.
Yeah.
You have to like tie it into like that was like his thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of Rebels now because they show the Darksaber, and that's right before A New Hope. They show
Rebels is kind of weird.
Yeah, they show the Mandalorians and the Darksaber and stuff there, but that's obviously before the whole original trilogy, and this is after Return of the Jedi. So a lot could have happened too, but like the fact that he has the Darksaber and stuff kind of makes you question. Okay, a lot's gone on during this time period for an Imperial to have it.
I don't really know though, like what season 2 is gonna be like. I know they have the Darksaber and they have to find like the Baby Yoda planet. I just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even know the way this season was gonna go from the start. Like there was never really a clear cut, like villain, I guess, because they have like the Guild who's trying to track down Baby Yoda, and then you have like the Empire like trying to make it come back. So like you don't really know which route they're gonna go until the end, until like episode 7 when they're in the bar.
But I kind of like that. I like that each episode was somewhat standalone. Like the first 3 were kind of explaining what was going on. Then up until 7 and 8, they were just kind of on the run, and I kind of liked that it was separate the whole time. That they were just doing a weekly adventure type thing.
Before we move on, there's this one scene, I think it was in the finale, but you have the 2 stormtroopers on the speeders with Baby Yoda, and their whole interaction. I watched it like 5 times over and over. It was so funny.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I just want to see it," or whatever. It's like, "There, you saw it," and then Baby Yoda like bites him or something. And he punches Baby Yoda, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You knew right there that they were going to die.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I think one of the good parts about that too is they're just like, yeah, he's kind of just killing people down there. We'll just stay up here for a little bit.
Yeah, he just killed one of the officers for interrupting.
Them shooting at the can. That was.
Yeah, that was really funny. Yeah. Oh god.
I think what the Mandalorian did best is like just show how like the Star Wars universe actually is.
Yeah.
For like everything.
Yeah.
It helps connect it to like the sequels and like with the Empire surviving and trying to grow. And
but it also
does all
shows
sorts of like little things.
Yeah, and I like the little line he has the Mandalorian kind of poking fun at the Rebel Alliance, though I guess it's the New Republic, I think he calls it. But
because they like didn't do anything helpful.
Yeah, with the Empire gone, there's a power vacuum in this time, and you see that's kind of still taking hold of the universe.
I feel like if they just took the sequels a different route, even for The Force Awakens, it would make what like this movie could lead to so much cooler.
Yeah.
Like if they actually let like the New Republic grow and not just turn it into another dictatorship.
Well, that always confused me with the sequels. Like, how did you mess up so poorly that there's already another empire? Yeah, I'm like, and the fact that they're still the underdogs in The Force Awakens, I'm like, how bad did you mess up?
Like, how is Princess Leia gonna let that happen again? It's kind of cool though, like that they keep the Jedi like they're just mysterious, like nobodies, but at the same time it's hard to believe considering like they were the center of the war, especially with Mandalorians too.
The Forger or whatever her name is. She knows a little bit about the Jedi and sort of explains that in the finale that she somewhat knows what they are, and also mentions how they were enemies of the Mandalorians in the past and stuff. So that was kind of cool. That, and the alien from the second episode also somewhat knows myths and legends of the Force, and I think that's kind of cool. But Yeah, that's always bothered me, that the Jedi were pretty much forgotten, and it's only been like 22 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and at that time they just became myth and legend. Though I think that also speaks to the Empire itself being able to control information and be like, yeah, these guys didn't completely exist. They're just kind of a fairy tale.
That's true, because it's like you think about it, because like they're based on like the Nazis and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's like a big thing. They did too.
Yeah, controlling the information and
sense.
the history. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
It's just like hard to believe sometimes. Like now, because like this one's set like after the war and rebellion, but they just don't know like Luke Skywalker at least.
Well, they also talk about that in some of the spin-off books and stuff, how the soldiers and stuff in the Rebel Alliance have used them. They don't really know anything about the main three, Han, Leia, and Luke. They just know that they're war heroes and great fighters and warriors and stuff. They don't actually know anything else going on. Even Darth Vader, I was just reading, what's it called? Twilight Company, which is this book between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And people know of Darth Vader, sort of. They also think Darth Vader himself is a myth, but like he'll be deflecting bullets and stuff, and they think it's a force field, so they just keep shooting when he deflects bullets and blasters with his hand. And so like they don't actually understand that he's using the force or anything. Even when they see the lightsaber, they have no idea what's going on. They're scared to hell, and I think that's kind of cool.
It's cool, but kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think you think they would have at least learned a little bit.
Yeah. Or that someone would warn them, if you see this giant guy carrying a laser sword, you should probably not try and fight him.
I guess it's like no one knew who like the Emperor was either.
Yeah, that's true.
Besides Darth Vader.
And some of the top lieutenants and generals. But yeah, it is... They cloud everything in mystery, the Empire.
It just feels like you would think they would know Darth Vader, because he's like the big guy that everyone knows.
A lot of people know of him, they just don't know why. Like, he's able to do the things he does and stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, back to the Mandalorian for a second.
Yeah.
The alien that we meet in the second episode, who always says, like, I've spoken. That guy, I don't know his name.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't fully understand why they had to kill him off in the last episode. I feel like they killed him just to kill somebody.
I think it was to add the tension with the Baby Yoda being kidnapped.
Yeah, I agree with Joey. I think it's more just to show what could happen and that that this group is willing to kill them.
Yeah, but you see that, and then I don't know. I just felt like they killed somebody just to kill somebody. Not that I have a problem with him dying. I don't really care.
I don't think he served much of a purpose, is why either.
Yeah.
So they were like, Because, like, could you really go, like, a few more seasons just hearing I have spoken every once in a while? It'd probably get old.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, only because, like, the Mandalorian's, like a gunslinger, and this guy's just, like, waddling, going, I have spoken.
Yeah, but I didn't understand why he even went to begin with. I think that's because I'm trying to remember when I was watching it why I thought his death was stupid.
Well, he was a caretaker, and Mando would only like let him go, so he didn't have to just be the droid.
But
he didn't like droids.
Their whole plan was to just take the crib or whatever and say they had Baby Yoda. What was the point of bringing him and this guy along? I don't really understand.
Protect them still in case someone attacked the ship.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
But I see your point, because it is kind of weird that they kept like certain characters alive, so you can assume, okay, maybe these few people will make cameos, like the crew from the episode you were talking about, Bill Burr's crew. They kept them alive, and you're like, okay, they're probably going to make an appearance. Same with the people from the Gunslinger episode when he went to Tatooine and everything. So it's like, it is strange.
I didn't realize that was Tatooine.
Yeah.
I knew it was Tatooine right away.
Well, I always assume it's Tatooine if I see a planet like that, but there's so many now.
Even in the description, it says on a familiar desert planet, and like
I don't really read the descriptions.
But it is kind of strange the few characters they chose to keep alive, the ones they chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
If it just shows more soldiers and like smugglers that fit in more with like the scene.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought Baby Yoda was gonna be like a really like dumb character in the end, but he is quite enjoyable.
He is. I think my favorite parts of Baby Yoda was just he's walking around when he's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was so funny. Like yeah, like Mando told him to stay, and then he as soon as he leaves, you just see Baby Yoda coming right along.
He reminds me of like a little dog.
Yeah.
Or what was it? The arm wrestling match when he just started choking out the girl. And
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings on Baby Yoda because I think it's cool for the show. I think it's very weird for the rest of the universe as a whole.
Like continuity.
Yeah, for like the larger continuity because
Yoda got around, my dude.
I mean, there was Yodel in the Jedi Council, but
that's true.
Like, one, they never go into Yoda series, like species and stuff, and that's kind of on purpose. So I wonder how they're going to actually take it forward if they're actually going to dive into that. And also because this is after Return of the Jedi, so theoretically, even during Rise of Skywalker, there could be a preteen Yoda just running around.
I mean, we don't really know how they age though. Still.
Yeah, a preteen Yoda. What would he be like? 200 years old or something?
I mean, how he was? They said he was 50 years old. I think
50, and he's still like a baby.
Yeah, that's true. And well,
he's a toddler.
Rise of Skywalkers is probably about 50 years later.
I don't think so.
I think it'd have to be because
the gap's not that big.
Between Return and Force Awakens, I don't know the gap.
It might be like 30, 35.
How old is Yoda when he dies?
What's the line?
I'm looking it up right now.
900.
Oh my!
Is he 800 or 900?
900.
900.
Yeah,
okay,
so it takes you 900 years old to basically become a 100-year-old human.
Yeah, so I guess 50 more years he'd be a toddler. Not even a toddler. He'd be like 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's a toddler. There could possibly be a toddler Yoda walking around during Rise of Skywalker.
I think you gotta think of it more. There's a whole species of Yoda, is what they're kind of leaning at right now.
I still don't think so. I still think that they're very isolated species.
Basically, this Baby Yoda has lived like 5% of his life, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So like, if they try to do anything moving forward,
well, this whole run of the show, unless they randomly do a time skip in between season 2 and 3 or season whatever seasons, he's going to be a baby for all of Mandalorian, probably.
I would hope so.
So
it would be kind of cool to see it enter, like the show to start diving into like the rise, or like the First Order.
And see, I kind of don't want them to. I want it to stay almost completely separate. Like I like the
not like
little hints
like
here and there.
In.
Yeah, but
kind of like how they're doing the Empire thing right now, like where you just start seeing them form into something a little more besides like the warlords.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It's just little hints.
Well, I know season 2 going forward, they already said they're bringing Ahsoka Tano in, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, that is cool. I think.
So this is the first time there's going to be a live action Ahsoka Tano. And I mean, she knows what Yoda looks like. Well, I always find that funny because, like, if just one character that we knew saw this guy, they'd be like, "Oh my god, that kind of looks like Yoda," and freak out.
It's a little disappointing though now knowing that they'll be using Jedi.
I mean, Ahsoka's not exactly a Jedi.
Well,
it's very complicated.
You know what I mean.
What stage of like her training or arc would she be in?
So,
she's like a master by then, kind of.
So,
well, she's not in the order, but
so Ahsoka, she's not exactly a Jedi. If anything,
she gets
Ahsoka
kicked out in Clone Wars.
Yeah, but she also fights with the Rebellion and Rebels and stuff, and they talk about that in the book too. But
that's the only time like Rebels kind of got interesting is when she popped up in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and the clones came back because they brought Rex back in Rebels. But
some of those episodes are really boring though.
Yeah, but So she's kind of the closest thing in canon that we have to a gray Jedi. She's very in between, but she's also not dead, but also not really alive either.
Did they like hint she kind of dies in Rebels?
She fights Darth Vader, and it's very it gets into the Mortis gods.
I remember.
Yeah, it gets into the Mortis gods and the celestial plane and stuff. So she is.
So like kind of like vanishes.
Yeah, but she also shows up at the very end, which is also post Return of the Jedi and stuff. So she is there. That's pretty much the best way to describe it. So as far as season 2 predictions, I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
I thought maybe. When are they dropping that season?
It was supposed to be October, I think.
Did they
don't know when it's actually. I don't know if it's postponed or not, but they already started writing season 3. So like, 2 is written, and I think a decent amount I think is filmed, but like season 3 is already preparing to go. So they're going forward with this show. This show might stick around for a few seasons.
It says they already started filming season 2 is already in the works when season 1 started releasing.
Oh, they might be done.
Maybe its release date. And this was posted 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they were pretty confident when they were releasing them.
Oh, and post-production stuff is continuing during shutdowns, it says.
So it might be able to stay on.
Yeah.
I mean, they've pushed back MCU stuff and everything else already. Disney's pushed back a lot of stuff, so if this isn't pushed back yet, then they're probably good to go.
It probably won't be October, though, if that's true.
I think it will, actually.
I mean, this season started October, right? That's when Disney Plus dropped. Or was it November?
It started like October-ish, though.
I think it was either late October, beginning of November, because it dropped with Disney Plus.
I was already like 4 episodes in, maybe 3.
Okay, yeah, I think it was beginning of November, end of October.
Late October, yeah.
Yeah.
But if they already started it, then it doesn't take them like more than 6 months to film 8 episodes.
It'll probably stay on target. So that's nice. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah, so this has been the post-podcast of the Mandalorian review. We'll see you next time in our top 3 video game characters.
Have a great day.
Like and subscribe.